Kabarak University Choir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my humble duty to welcome the Reverend Professor Jonas Kaleli, the Vice Chancellor of Kabarak University, to make his remarks, present the address from His Excellency President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, the Chancellor of Kabarak University, officially open the conference on behalf of His Excellency the Chancellor, and welcome His Excellency the Governor to present the keynote address.
Your Excellency, Governor Machakos County, Dr. Hafred Mutua, the Chairman of Kabarak University Governing Council, Honorable Senator Professor John Ronyakafo, who should be arriving any time, members of the management, invited guests, researchers, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start by welcoming you all to the 4th International Research Conference. This year's conference focuses on applied research and innovation for development. Research is a key activity of our university and a crucial national asset. Kabarak University is committed to promote research among the students and the faculty as a core activity of the university. It is only through applied research that we can remain relevant and contribute towards problem solving and knowledge creation. Our vision as an institution of higher learning is to become a center of academic excellence based on biblical Christian values. The reason we seek to provide education from a biblical Christian perspective is based on the fact that without moral foundation, individuals educated only in the mind are half-baked. To be properly rounded out as a person must be trained not only in their minds, but also in their character as well. This is in accordance with the Kabarak University moral code, which is to set apart in one's heart Jesus as Lord. That is given in 1 Peter 3:15. We purpose to become a center of excellence for thought, discussion, research, and teaching within the context of Christian truth and commitment. However, without the research and the submission to the light of God's word, this vision will only be a mirage in our hearts. As a leading center of academic excellence, we must be actively involved in continuous search for knowledge. It is said that research is formalized curiosity. It is poking and prying with a purpose. In this case, as scholars, we should be active in research, as this is the key role to higher education. Research enables us to identify and conceptualize a problem, and with this, we are able to provide the answers. Research enables us to analyze and discuss issues that affect humanity. We are therefore continuously invested in the development of research culture, promotion of innovation, and generation of knowledge. That is why this year we have set aside a day for undergraduate students to present their findings as a way of nurturing future researchers. This initiative promotes innovation and creativity, leads to new products in the market, and defines the university as a creator and consumer of knowledge. Numerous discoveries and innovations have considerably improved our everyday lives and given us better understanding as a result of research activities. Ladies and gentlemen, potential growth of any economy depends largely on rigorous research activities geared towards solving national problems and providing answers to industry. This initiative has potential to improve the ability of stakeholders such as industries, communities, and the government to understand and tackle issues of national significance. There is need for researchers to focus on applied research, which is problem-driven research that addresses specific human and industrial needs. As researchers, we must always aim to direct our research efforts to be a solution to the community's challenges and the problems, to respond to the practical needs societies face. At this juncture, I want to use an illustration. And I want to involve you just for a moment. I'm carrying something in this bag that I would like you to begin to imagine. Why did I bring this? What is this? Why do I bring it? He has begun to do his work. Why did I bring this here? What does it mean? How do you connect this with research? How do you connect this? Because they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So this is a picture. How do you connect this with research? And also apply the research. A piece of wood with thorns. If you step on it, for example, you step on one of these, what happens? Can I throw it to you? No. So if you step on it, gentlemen, what a press, you step on this one. Careful. If, for example, you step on this one, what sound would you make? Say what to hear. What sound will you make? Mzungu anatuambia that is Mzungu. What is it? You know, different ethnic language. What is it? Why? Okay. He says why. And then from Uganda.
Mom. Oh, my mom.
Oh, my mom. Okay. Okay. Another sound.
Aye. Aye.
The place I come from, I'll just cry. Because I feel the pain. Think of all the pains people are facing. From the village, to the community, to the sub-county, to the county, to the nation, to the region, to the continent, all the way to the globe. The issues human beings face. The purpose of research is to be able to respond to those needs, to respond to the to respond to all the pains people face. And that partly leadership is supposed to respond to those things. If somebody is chosen as a leader, and then you find people making those sounds, I am like, and the first year, the people are still doing, the second year, they are still doing, and the fourth year, they are still doing, that person is not a leader. A leader must be able to respond to the pains that people are facing. Research must be practical. If it's just for conceptual philosophical purposes, it's not enough. We must go beyond just formulation and creation of knowledge just for the sake of it. It is so critical as a people, as a nation, as a world, to think of the crisis, the issues that we are facing, all the way from the village to the globe. As they say today, we think globally, but act locally. Research to respond to the pains society is facing, from the lowest to the highest. I'm glad to inform you that there have been successful implementation from previous recommendations by researchers. The government of Kenya should address fee inequalities by various categories of public secondary schools by revising fees policy to focus on needy schools and only the needy students instead of financing every child with the 10,000 plus shillings per year regardless of the need. This will enhance the equity in the provision of education to every student regardless of school's economic status. The task force set up to review fees levied in public secondary schools, Chairman Lenny Miranda indicated that a ceiling should be put on the maximum amount of the fee to be paid in the schools, since more costs are driven by the extra levies and the charges that weigh down on parents. They drew their recommendations from Dr. Kubara findings. In our context here as a university, Professor Rabba Kefa and Mr. Anil Kumar, Kabarak University funded a project on Android mobile application for Kabarak University. This has been successfully implemented at Kabarak University. It is an automation system which enables the university to store program details and admission criteria for all schools. This will benefit several users. For example, prospective students will apply simply and quickly without going through the internet. It will also ease the needs of staff and students who will be able to renew their books in the library by simply clicking on the icon on the mobile application. The challenge facing the implementation of research findings. Many research findings are never implemented due to, one, lack of political will of institutions, such as government, to implement inadequate funding. Motivation for researchers is usually for promotion and academic progress. They attach little value to implementation. Hence, most research recommendations end up on the shelves. As I conclude my remarks, I express special appreciation to His Excellency President Moi and the Chancellor of Kabarak University for his commitment and the consistent support for Kabarak University and the Kenyan youth as a whole. May I also take this opportunity to thank all the presenters in this conference and encourage them that it is not only important to carry out the research, but it is necessary to share and disseminate information to provide opportunity for implementation. I wish to recognize the critical role played by the Planning Committee and the Institute of Postgraduate Studies and the Research of Kabarak University for the many hours invested in planning to make this conference successful. I also wish to thank the National Commission for Science and Technology Innovation for they have consistently supported our research conferences. And so we want to wish them the very best as they continue in their endeavors. So thank you very much and God bless you. If you have the program with you, you will notice that this time is set for our chairman, Honorable Senator Nakapua, to come to the podium and make his remarks, and then, of course, present the welcome speech or introductory speech of His Excellency President Moi. But when we talked with him, he said he was on the way. I think probably should be around the corner. And I want to leave him to do that. I want to leave him to be able to come and make his remarks and read Mze's speech. But I want to go ahead and then introduce the one who is making the keynote address today. He's a very special person to me, and of course, to all of us as Kenyans. We have known him for many years, like to read something about him, and then he will come and address us. Dr. Alfred Mutua was born in Masi, Machakos County, and he is married with several children. He has lived, studied, and worked in Kenya, United States, Australia, and United Arab Emirates, and has been a businessman, lecturer, civil servant, and politician. A man of many talents, Dr. Mutua is today one of the most popular governors in Kenya, and a beacon of hope for the youth of our country. He earned a bachelor's degree in journalism in Whitworth College, United States, a Master's of Science Communication in Eastern Washington University, USA, and then a doctorate in communication in media, University of Western Sydney, Australia. Dr. Mutua is the author of a self-help book, How to Be Rich in Africa and Other Secrets of Survival, published in 2010. The book gives insight into various ways of being a successful investor in Africa. He's also the owner of a lifestyle magazine titled Passion Magazine, which covers various topical issues including food, fashion, bread, beauty, health, and finance. Having sharpened his teeth through teaching Sunday school at his local church when he was a young man, Dr. Mutua went on to become a lecturer and assistant professor in his illustrious career. He was a lecturer at Leicester University in Kenya and also an assistant professor at Zayed University in Dubai. In a career spanning 15 years, Dr. Mutua was a foreign correspondent and a local journalist in Kenya's media industry. He is widely known for his popular travel articles under the title Musafiri. These articles ran in several newspapers and magazines. During his illustrious career, Dr. Mutua has been involved in movie making, writing, and producing various productions. Dr. Mutua also runs a production company, Golden Dreams Company, which has begun at the age of 21. He produced Kenya's first action TV series, the popular Cobra Sport. As well as the popular family show, Beba Beba. Cobra Sport was aired not only in Kenya but in various African countries. Through GDC, Dr. Mutua has launched the prestigious East Africa Music Awards in 2011. As far as the government is concerned, Dr. Mutua was appointed the first official government spokesperson of Kenya in June 2004. He served in that capacity until September 2012, making him the longest serving government spokesman in Kenya. He was also the Public Communications Secretary and the head of the Office of Public Communications in the Office of the President. Dr. Mutua became the first governor of Machakos County under the new form of governance in Kenya, and it was sworn in on the 27th March 2013. Those who have been to Machakos since Governor Mutua took office, they cannot help just to see the difference. You don't even need to be told. You just need to go to Machakos town and you just see it. Something is happening. And in fact, when you make the turn from the Mombasa Road, the Nairobi Mombasa Road, when you make the left turn to Machakos, and it is during the night, you can put your lights off in the car. Drive all the way to Machakos. Last week, I was overwhelmed by comments from people of the new road that was made in the shortest time in this country. And I did not want to have Governor Mutua come here and I have no idea where this road is. So I told Mama, let's go, let's find out. And we drove from Machakos town all the way towards Kambundo Kiviman, tarmac within the shortest time. I don't even understand how we did it. And many, many other things. Somebody just feels this of the people. And he says, I must respond to those needs. It doesn't matter how it costs, I will go for it. I'm so impressed with him, proud of him, and I'm sure you are. And Your Excellency Governor, thank you for accepting to come. We are very honored to have you here. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome His Excellency Dr. Alfred Mutua as our keynote